Hello, welcome back to another Mancinima special. What we're going to be taking a look at today is the Star Wars Celebration Europe 4 event, or 2023, that took place just a couple of weeks ago at the London Excel Centre. I've had time to think about the show, reflect on what I thought about the show, and what I wanted to deliver to you today is some ideas that I think they can bring from the past celebrations that have happened over the last few years that I've been going to them, bring them back into the current shows to improve them, hopefully, and maybe a couple of ideas of things that they can probably let go now that are no longer relevant. Anyway, before we get into all that, if you could please like this video, it really does help the channel out. If you could subscribe to the channel only if you're new to the channel. If you've already been a subscriber to the channel, please do not subscribe because that unsubscribes you. And if you could hit the notification bell, that would be great. So without further ado, let's take a look again at Star Wars Celebration Europe 4 2023. Before we kind of take a look back at Star Wars Celebration Europe 4 2023, if you like, let's just go back in time to my first celebration. My first Star Wars celebration was in 2005. It was in Indianapolis, and at that time I thought that would be the very last Star Wars celebration. The reason being is that Revenge of the Sith was being touted as the last ever Star Wars movie. And for a lot of us, I mean, it wasn't just me, a lot of us actually thought that this would be the last Star Wars celebration. And I wanted to experience it because I'd seen other people have a great time at the last two, so I thought, why not, let's go and do that. First thing I remember about Star Wars Celebration 3 was that we were put into a hall before anything began. We were given a time and there was going to be an opening ceremony. Now this is something they don't do anymore, and I think it's something they could bring back. I think it would really improve the show. The opening ceremony, you're all sat in a hall. They play some music beforehand to get you in the mood, you know, similar to what DJ Elliott does nowadays. But I think they had a band there playing, a live band there when we went. Jay the guy came along and sang a few songs. He was the actor who plays Captain Typho in Attack of the Clones. And we all settled down, and then they introduced the actors who would be signing and meeting people over the course of the day, and they brought them all out on the stage so that everybody got a chance to see the actors. Even if you didn't manage to get to them during the course of the celebration, you could at least say that you'd seen them on the stage. I think that's a great idea because a lot of the times, especially now, you know, the autograph prices are rising, and a lot of the people who go to Star Wars Celebration don't actually get a chance to see the actors at all unless they go to the live stage, and even that's really, really busy nowadays. So it was a great idea to bring them all out on this big stage, introduce them, get them to give a wave, say hello, and just ease people into the show that was due to come. What I also liked is for the actors that couldn't be there, and there's some big names that couldn't be there for Revenge of the Sith, so we didn't get Ewan, we didn't get Hayden, I don't think we got Ian McDiarmid, and we certainly didn't get Christopher Lee, but all of those sent in video messages on a big screen, and it was lovely that they gave this welcome to celebration, I hope you have a great time, and it just gave you a good feeling before you went into the show. It set you up, if you know what I mean. It really set you up for the show that was to come. They gave you kind of hints at what panels you were going to see, and hints at some of the surprises that were to come, but you didn't get those until the following days. So yeah, it was really nice. I think this took place on the evening before the show began, so if this was Celebration Europe, what we would have done is, it would have been Thursday evening. Thursday evening they would have had the opening ceremony. Friday morning we would have got into the show proper. Friday mornings was also when they saved the big panels. It was the first panel in the morning, similar to what it was here with the Lucasfilm panel this time around. Friday mornings would always be your big panel time, and then you'd have the other panels petering down from there. So yeah, I do think they should bring back the opening ceremony. The other thing I will say about the opening ceremony, which I thought was rather nice, was they did an in memoriam for the actors that had passed away at the time. So it's nice to remember them, the ones that had given so much to Star Wars, the actors, the producers, the directors, people who have given so much to Star Wars over the years. They were remembered at this opening ceremony. So that was a nice touch. But yeah, I think they should bring the opening ceremony back. I do think they should scrap the closing ceremony because it doesn't really do anything. All it is a lot of people patting themselves on the back, congratulating themselves on how great a show they've given you. So I think that's a bit unnecessary, and the only thing anyone wants from the closing ceremony is to know where the next one's going to be. And I think we could probably just do away with the closing ceremony because it does take a lot of your kind of final moments of the show away. There's a lot of queuing up for it, and then when you finally get in, then there's a lot of waiting, and then it finally begins. And all that time is eaten up when you could be looking around the stalls, looking at other smaller panels and things like that. When all they really need to do is, at the end of the very show, just before closing, get everybody gathered around like these streaming screens and just say, thank you very much, we've all had a great time, by the way, here's where the next one's going to be. So yeah, I think they should get away with the closing ceremony and reintroduce the opening ceremony, because I think the opening ceremony is great because it really sets the mood for the show that is to come. One of the things I really liked about Celebration 3 is that they had their own organised party, and it was called Celebration at Celebration. It was themed around Jabba the Hutt, and inside it was kind of a circus atmosphere, kind of a carnival atmosphere. There was fire breathers, there were people juggling, there was a band playing, there was a DJ playing. They had like these games on the floor, inflatable mazes and things you could go through, food stalls, beer stalls. It was just a fantastic atmosphere and it felt really good. They also had their own merchandise stall in there, which you could buy merchandise that you could only get at the party. It wasn't available in the show anywhere else afterwards. And the only thing I managed to get was one of these, well, I actually think I bought some merch, but the only thing I've managed to find that I've still got hanging around at the moment is this little here beer mat, which I think they gave away for free. I don't know if you can see that, but most of the t-shirts and the designs had that kind of artwork on it. And there you go, Star Wars Celebration at Celebration. Hope you guys can see that okay. So yeah, that was the kind of thing they were giving out, and that was the theme for the party, Jabba the Hutt, carnival atmosphere. Yeah, I thought that was a really good idea, and I'd like to see Celebration organise their own party. Like I say, rather than one of these outside ones that you have to go and sort out that are kind of miles away. But yeah, Celebration organising their own party would be a great thing I'd like to see return. The other thing I'd like to see Star Wars Celebration improve upon is the logo. They've been using that same boring generic logo since Anaheim 2015. You know, the one where it says Star Wars Celebration, you've got the little Jedi lightsaber thing coming up through the middle, and then on one side it says Anaheim, and then it says 2015, or it'll say London, or sorry, Europe, and then 2023, and Japan, and 2025, and all that business. It's just boring. Let's have a look, I'm going to pop them over there. Let's have a look at the logos that they had in the past. So the best one that I remember is the Star Wars Celebration 5 logo, which was Boba Fett. They had Boba Fett leaning over a stylised logo, which says Star Wars Celebration 5. It was all very exciting, it's very dynamic, and it made you kind of want to go out and buy the shirts and the caps and the patches with that logo on. Now, every time I've gone to a Celebration store since 2015, and I've seen the generic logo, I've not wanted to buy anything, because all they do is they change the colour, they change the location, and they change the date. It's very boring. So I know they're going to do it for Japan as well. They've got that same generic boring thing with just a different colour and a different name and location. So let's, for future celebrations, at least past Japan, try something different again. Let's get exciting with the logos. Let's have, I don't know, a Jawa holding up the Star Wars Celebration logo, and you could get that as a patch or as a t-shirt. Something that's, you know, interesting and exciting, rather than this boring generic look. One thing I was disappointed with in Star Wars Celebration Europe 2023, Star Wars Celebration Europe 4, is the lack of displays. And I'm talking about the banners and the things like that that advertise the show. I mean, yes, it was lovely to walk into the main hall and see all the character banners hanging up on the ceiling. They looked beautiful, they were fantastic. But on the outside, all you had was that video screen saying, "Welcome to Star Wars Celebration." But there was nothing kind of... I mean, yes, you had the walkaway hangers as they were there the year before, but there was nothing on the railway on the way up. I remember in 2016 they had all the different character posters on the railway, and the character posters were dotted all around inside the venue as well. And it just seemed a bit lacklustre this time around. So I really would love to see them put a greater effort into putting some of these show character posters up and really filling that hall with Star Wars. The only thing you really had was those banners that were up on the high ceiling, which again looked lovely. We were missing the inflatable Death Star. I don't know what happened to that, but they used to have that a couple of years ago. So the inflatable Death Star that they've had at a few of the events was missing. Yes, you've got the fan-built props, the AT-AT, the AT-ST inside the hall, and some of the other things. But yeah, let's go bigger on the pushing of the show. That some of the imagery would be fantastic just to see all along the show, rather than just a few banners hanging along the ceiling. Really, that would be nice. Once again, please like this video if you've liked it. Please subscribe to the channel, but like I say, only if you've never subscribed before. So if you are a new subscriber, that's great, please subscribe. If you've subscribed before, please don't touch that button. hit the notification bell. But yeah, most of all, come and have a chat with me down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about Star Wars Celebration, what you thought could be improved, whether you think my ideas were any good or whether you think they're rubbish. I don't mind, just let me know. And I will speak to you all again very soon. Take care.